Hello, everyone. This is Rahim Lakhani. Today, actually, I am live from Toronto, Canada. It's bright and early this morning on a sunny day in Toronto. And we will talk about the Portuguese Golden Visa program today. Afsana, my wife, as well as the Vice President on Sales and Migration, she couldn't join today because she is on an exciting visit with several Californians right now in Portugal. And so is our other management team on several tours actually out in Spain today. So they couldn't join, but they send their regards, and we would love to actually discuss today the Portuguese Golden Visa program with all of you, and also take your comments and feedback. So feel free to like, share, comment, and subscribe to our channel, and talk to us about any questions that you have about the Portuguese Golden Visa program. We will also get into the D2s and the D7s and all of the other smaller, not so widely known programs as well in this conversation. Because I am in Toronto at the current moment, I would even like to have a discussion with our folks who want to know about the Canadian program, differences, and why the Portuguese Golden Visa program is a different program, and it's not similar in its makeup and in its mandate as well, and as well as the EB5 program that was discussed last week by Dr. Ishbera in India. So without further ado, let's dive in. So next slide, please, Fahim. Wonderful. Yeah, let's watch a video actually about Portugal, so everyone is kind of on the same page and know where Lisbon and Portugal is and what it stands for.
Why do so many investors fall in love with Lisboa? Easy. There's no other city that combines this beautiful view with the beauty of these numbers. Lisboa is the closest European capital to the United States, South America and Africa, with 250 departures every day, and being the only capital in mainland Europe sharing the same time zone with the British capital, with more than 300 days of sunshine throughout the year. Lisboa is surrounded by more than 20 wonderful golf courses, only 4 train stations away from the beach, and just a 1-hour drive from Nazaré, home of the biggest waves on the planet. Selected to be the 2020 European Green Capital, Lisboa transforms ecological concerns into reality, being the first European city to have a municipal fleet where 100% of light vehicles are electric, a huge recharging network with more than 540 stations, and 100% of the city lights running with LED technology. Innovation and adaptation are part of the mindset, with 90 colleges that produce 30,000 graduates a year, with 60% of them in business, tech, or math degrees. No wonder Lisboa attracts global investment from all around the globe into our entrepreneurial community, an ecosystem dedicated to helping new businesses, where 2 new startups are created every day. With more than 100 co-working spaces spread all over Lisboa, and with a 90-kilometer bike lane that reaches all corners of the city. It's so easy to enjoy the view commuting to work, using one of the 2,150 shared bikes and
Sorry, we got cut off in the video there. Just Fahim,
Yes,
can you please put the video?
yes, it's auto change actually.
Skip to that.
all corners of the city. It's so easy to enjoy the view commuting to work, using one of the 2,150 shared bikes and 5,500 soft mobility vehicles. How about this? Lisboa is well known as a city that embraces diversity and welcomes all kinds of races, ethnicities, and religious beliefs. All that in a city with 7 Michelin-starred restaurants, and this sunset included. So, how about Start investing in Lisboa. Lisboa, the beautiful side of business.
Thank you so much, Rahim, for that excellent video there. So let's talk briefly about the company, the group, and everything that has to do with Portugal. Just a little message from our company. So we are actually a family office headquartered in Lisbon and invested in. Four different countries as of now, with being Portugal, with Canada, United States, and originally from India. So this was actually started by my father in India, and this particular slide gives you and our viewers an understanding and a statement of our journey and what we stand for. Well, at the bottom of it, the important part here really is that we work hand in hand with several of our friends and family investors, but on a large scale, even with our fund investors. And the goal is always capital preservation. The goal is always, mitigating the delivery risk, as well as maximizing the profits for our investors and for the group alike. So this is what we have stood for over the last 38 years. So let's go to the next slide. Okay, so just a brief about the management here. Myself, I am actually an engineer from University of Waterloo in Canada, and while holding great positions at power plants in Canada, we also had a real estate and have a real estate portfolio out in Toronto, and this is where all things began for me personally. Where we invest largely now is distressed assets in restructuring of companies, so that we can bring true value out of these companies. And as far as the management team is concerned, you have Azima Lakhani, who's my sister. She is the VP on compliance, and she has also taken the role on the construction side of our beautiful project, which is called Quinta de Forte Value. I'll talk about this project shortly as well. Her experience is largely in the development of the ADR, which is the average daily rate of a resort space or a hotel space. So that's where her main focus has been over the last few years. As far as my wife and the vice president on migration and sales, Afsana, she holds a master's degree in education from UCL in London, and also several master's degrees in IT technology. And she is mainly responsible as of now with the group on the sales of the entire group, as well as also facilitating and reorganizing the processes and increasing the revenue projections that are currently with the group budgets and with the group projections for the next years. And my brother-in-law Karim, he is the vice president on accounts and finances, and that is where his expertise has been in managing a group and chain of gas stations from the United States, as well as he holds a bachelor's and master's in commerce as well. So very well diverse group that has deep interests in the Portuguese development of real estate, as well as hospitality projects that I will just showcase to you in the next few slides. So let's go to the next slide. Perfect. What very briefly I'd like to kind of discuss is the differences between some of these programs without going into too much detail. The best part here about this comparison is the physical residency requirement. So if you see on the bottom right of this slide, you will see very clearly that my photo is actually hiding that, so you will not be able to see, unfortunately. But we'll share these slides with you. What we are trying to allude to is that um, uh, the physical residency requirements is not a challenge for the Portuguese Golden Visa program, and this program does not require investors to stay in Portugal for more than 14 days per year, which is the best part. As opposed to the Canadian program where you must, and the US program where you must move physically and must stay physically in the country. And the other part that is actually very good in the Portuguese program is there is no requirement for English language exams like the IELTS exam that you have in Canada. And this is the best part because we deal with a lot of investors whose primary language is not English, and they have Hindi or Chinese, Mandarin, or Arabic, and there may be severe challenges in passing this English language course for some of these high net worth individuals who are well established individuals from various businesses in their own home countries. So while maintaining their residency in their home country, they can still qualify for the residency in Portugal. And this is the best part about the Portuguese Gold Visa program. One of the things that I'd like to highlight is the government approved fund. This is a very strong statement that we make here, is that 7x, which is also something that we will introduce shortly, is a government approved and authorized investment fund, which is not particularly the case for some of the programs, some of the other country programs. And in Portugal, you can have your mind at ease even when you are not particularly in the country, because of the fact that the investment fund is a regulated product from and we have a supervisory board, and we have a mandate to which the investors subscribes to. So this is the best part. Now, further to that, you do not require a business plan, you do not require any kind of research to be done, you do not require a visit to be made to Portugal personally to make the investment, which is quite the case with the US and Canadian investments. And this is something that is a huge differentiation when you make this into a comparison study between the two programs. So I think we have given you quite a bit to think when you are looking at the different programs. You have quite a lot to think of. If you qualify for the other programs or not, but you definitely qualify for the Portuguese program as long as the investment is there. So let's go on to the next slide. Perfect. So, just to kind of wrap up our difference between the two programs, I think something that is, certainly top of mind for a lot of people, certainly top of mind for people who are thinking of Portugal as their home base for their family. Well, Portugal, similar to Canada, has a government-run medical program and universal free medical program. So this is something you can put your mind at ease. It has world-class medical facilities, and if you decide, to move or to educate your kids in Portugal, this you wouldn't go wrong because you have the English language schools, you have the IB curriculums, you have the best universities, and you are part of the European zone, which is 27 countries. So you are essentially a national of 27 countries with the European Union passport, and yeah, visa free travel and whatnot. So there is a lot of things that you receive when you are a part of the Portuguese program versus the other two programs that you have. One thing that I'd like to highlight in terms of taxation, the US has the global worldwide income taxation versus so what I say is, even if you are an American for until you hold the citizenship, you will be required to file the American taxes even if you are in Portugal, which is not the other way around. So I hold a Canadian citizenship. I'm not required to file the Canadian tax return as long as you declare yourself as a non-tax resident. Same goes with Portugal, but for the US, that's not the case. What I would say is that talk to us, we'll put you in touch with the best US tax lawyers, and we'll put you in touch with the best Portuguese tax lawyers to be able to really determine what is best for your particular business incomes and worldwide incomes as well. So that's it. Let's go to the next slide. Okay. Um, let's just talk very quickly because a lot of people say, okay, golden visa, 500,000, too much money for us to spend. We may not have this much. No problem. You can still migrate to Portugal without actually getting the golden visa. What you trade in exchange for the investment that you make is your time. Okay. So if you are committed to stay for at least 66% of the time in the next 5 years, essentially, then inside Portugal, then you can qualify without an investment. So for those programs, you will have to look at D7 or D2, and even though the name of this D7 is like a retirement program, it's not really only for retirees. It is for anyone and everyone who has a certain amount of income coming in from their existing investments outside of Portugal. And that is what qualifies you. For D2, you can have a business plan, like the Canadian program. You do not need any investment, absolutely. But of course, your case is further strengthened when you go in with a full business plan and you implement that business plan when you are in Portugal. So there is probably a requirement and a smart thing to do to showcase to the government that you have funds enough to start a legitimate business and hire employees in Portugal during your stay for the next 5 to 7 years. And this is something that we will assist you as well, because we have, apart from the Golden Visa program, we also have several franchise programs as well for restaurants and hotels and whatnot. So talk to us, and if none of the products that we have make sense, we will customize the product. Our research team will customize a product for you to assist you in your journey towards Portugal. And of course, at the baseline, we will assist you also with the Golden Visa program. We have a hospitality project currently under construction that is qualified within Lisbon boundaries for the 500,000 program because it's a commercial project. We also have a project in the pipeline for the 280 program, for which the details we will release shortly as well. So just talk to us. This is if this is something that is of your alley. If Portugal is in your cards, talk to us. Come out to Portugal, have a exploratory visit if you so choose to. We can do a virtual site tours for some of these projects if you are okay with doing so. Yeah, get in touch with us, and I'm sure we'll be able to give you some feedback on the different programs that we have. So let's go on to the next slide. Perfect. To wrap up the D7, D2, Golden Visa discussion, I think some of the main things that you have in terms of the highlight, like I mentioned earlier, is the physical presence. We had clients actually this week who were looking at doing the D7, but they were not sure if they would want to, if they would probably be living there for the majority chunk of their time. And if you are making an investment, which is what I've seen for most of our clients, is that even if they come with the D7, they end up doing an investment almost equivalent to the Golden Visa ticket price. So why not consider that in the first place and not have yourself restricted to the number of days? So this is something that you must think about. You must consult with us or other partners in Portugal and really make that judgment call. As the news came out this week, CEF has now opened up again for the Golden Visa program applications. So, and from what I hear from internal talks, is that now there will be speed associated with the approvals and whatnot. Of course, can't guarantee, but this is what the chatter is. So, probably not so bad idea to actually think of Golden Visa if you are going to be probably making the investment anyways down the road. So this is something that food for thought. If that is not in your cards, if the investment is not possible, then of course you have the other two programs. All right. So let's go to the next slide. All right. Now let's take some quick time to talk about 7X, which is a newly formed investment fund authorized by the Portuguese government here, the Portuguese Securities Commission, CMVM. And this is our investment fund, which is managed by the Lakhani Group Capital SCR. And with the supervisory board from various different facets and various different experiences. So this is what we bring to you as our investment fund. So next slide, please. Perfect. Now, as mentioned earlier, this is an approved vehicle. Why should an investor look at an investment fund, not just 7X, but an investment fund versus the real estate option? Also, this is something that you must keep in mind. Well, first things first. What we take great pride in is the accountability. Every single dollar, every single euro that is invested in the fund is held, and we are held accountable as management team, and we have very clear and transparent reporting that is given to the investors, and we also hold investor annual general meetings as well as more frequent meetings for as and when required with the investors to help them explain where the investment funds will be deployed in, um, as opposed to some joint ventures that you may or may not have invested in. There is no over leveraging of the investment funds. That there is a ceiling of up to 50% and no more than that. And this is very important, especially in times of recession, where you do not want to over leverage yourself and over leverage your investments. The one thing that is very good with 7X is that it does not have any complex structures, such as multiple classes of investments and trailers and whatnot. This particular investment that you make is a very simple investment that goes into real estate projects that has an operational arm, such as hospitality, such as student housing, professionally run student housing businesses, such as investments into a chain of restaurants, such as an operating business that needs capital to grow, because it has the potential for growth, and this is what we offer. The very good thing that we have here in terms of applying for your golden visa piece is that we have a very clean and neat document processing system, and there is absolutely no stress when you work with our investment fund, because we don't have too much documentation or paperwork required, as opposed to the real estate option, where you will have to have the CPCV, you will have to have an attorney for due diligence of the product that you are actually buying, if it is a 30-year-old project, if it is qualified for rehabilitation, if it is in the interior zone or not in the interior zone. There is no second guessing if the investment is qualified or not for the Portuguese golden visa program. So this is actually the best part. And while maintaining a wealth preservation attitude, we also provide a very strong and stable return for our investors. Okay, so next slide, please. So we all know where Portugal is, of course, but one thing that I'd like to point out, when we talk about why Portugal, is about its safety. Portugal, especially in today's nation, today's world, where you have a war going on, with Russia and Ukraine. You have several instabilities happening in countries like South Africa, in various parts of Africa, in various parts of South America. I think, given all the chaos in the world, you would probably want to have a safe haven for you and your family. And Portugal is a place that will offer you all of that, while holding the most modern standards in world class education, world class healthcare. So this is something, and the political and social stability. So this is something that you must consider when choosing your kind of plan B, or in some cases even plan A. Recently, there has been a huge amount of influx of migrants solely for their digital nomadic lifestyle. And Portugal, being Portugal, it's supporting a great amount of digital nomads. What it really comes down to is that earning money in another country while enjoying the low cost of living in Portugal. And that is how you maximize the returns that you have. So this is something that you must come and see for yourself on the lifestyle, that choice you have in Portugal. Next slide, please. Let's go to the next slide, because I think we've covered about cost of living and comparisons. So we'll skip to the more important slides. Fahim, next slide, please. Next. Okay, we talked about the Golden Visa program, and so a couple of things that I'd like to highlight in its essence. One thing that is a huge plus is that the entire family is actually eligible for their Schengen, for their European residency and the passport scheme under a single investment. This may or may not be the case for let's say the Canadian program or the American program. So this is a huge plus when it comes to and especially the fact that even your parents-in-law, and in cases adult children, which means over 18, is also if they are financially dependent and single, they are also qualified. So this is something that is probably non-existent in several other modern economies. So next slide. This slide actually talks about the investment fund license that we hold. So on the bottom, you have a link, or if you Google CMVM and our name, you will be able to land on the page where our investment fund license is parked. Basically, what we are trying to tell you is that this is not a joint venture private investment fund. This is actually a qualified government approved fund. Okay, so next slide. Perfect. And let's keep this one as the last slide in our deck here, and we would love to discuss, in person or over a phone call on what are the different projects that we have. So let's talk. July 2023 is when we close our investment fund. Minimum of €500,000 can be leveraged from outside of Portugal, which means you can get a loan, you can get a mortgage in outside of Portugal, and as long as the funds are complied with our compliance standards and the bank standards, you are okay to make that investments. And the term is a 7-year term of investment. We do have an option to extend up to 3 years if required. We invest largely in the hospitality space, in investing in hotels, in resorts, in student housing, and the development of brand new luxury villas and condominiums. So, when you come to Portugal, we would love to take you to some of our current projects for you to see the kind of projects that we currently have and the kind of projects that we are currently looking at investments. So, this is the best part, that you have a basket of projects which you are investing in, and not just a singular asset like real estate. So you will be investing, or your funds will be invested in a vast variety of diverse portfolio. So you can even hedge from the fluctuations of the economy. And if you are feeling the burn of recession out in the US or in Canada currently, the European market is not the same or the equivalent. And you can definitely hedge your bets with the European economy at the current moment. We our way to make money here is solely with the fact that when the investor makes money, we will make money as well, but only after a 30% hurdle rate over the 7-year period, which essentially means that if the investor is not making money tax free, as long as they hold their non-residence tax status, um, then the management will also not make money. So this is the attitude that we have for not only for our investment fund, but also for our other joint venture projects. We always want our investors to, have a very strong, confident, feeling when they are investing with us, that the returns are strong and it is not just a mere golden visa product. This is an investment product, not just a golden visa product. So this is something for the investors to understand, that you can actually make money with vehicles like 7x versus just buying, let's say a percentage in a hotel unit and keeping it at a 0% return for the next 7 years. So this is definitely. Now, one thing that I must say is that over the last few months, over 100 almost over 100 investments were made in the investment fund space for the golden visa piece. And this was a statistics that was released a few weeks ago from SEF in Portugal. So this is essentially, in a nutshell, the project. Let's quickly scroll through some examples. So next slide, and we'll just scroll through some. So let's go to the next one, and we'll see some projects that we currently have under wraps. So for him, keep going until I tell you so. Um, so this is our track record. Keep going. These are our projects in Lisbon with joint venture projects with strong returns. We have projects in close to Nova, so keep going. We have this is our investment team. This is our supervisory team that I mentioned earlier. That has been giving us the strength to continue with the investment fund, and always assisting us on different levels on the various nuances of the Portuguese Securities Commission, and also guiding us in the laws of the CMVM market as well. Okay, so next one. This is our investment board. We have a diverse investment board from local Portuguese developers, as well as from UK and UAE. So we get advised, from a very high level and international, spectrum as well. So next one. We talked about the process, so we'll go on to the next one. Perfect. So our partners, one of the partners that we have currently that will be someone who we will introduce you to is Bison Bank. This is a European-based bank who is our depository, and the depository bank is where the investment funds will lie. And in your bank statements on an every month, you will be able to see the growth of your investment as well, and the value of your net asset value individual unit as well. So this is not just an investment as a share in a project that you will never see. The investment will be located right on your balance sheet in your bank statement on a monthly basis as well. So next slide. We work with several partners and affiliates, as mentioned here, and our partnerships with our affiliates is only growing. We have support from several different institutions within Portugal, and we're truly blessed to have the strength and the confidence from these institutions. So next one. Okay, let's talk very briefly. One thing that a lot of people who invest in the fund, they talk about, okay, but what is the guarantee of investments in the investment fund? Well, here are five strong layers of protection that you have. First, and the strongest and the most is the CP, which has a very strong standard, and we are regulated largely, under the banking laws from ECB or a higher level, but then with the Portuguese Securities Commission in a direct way, and of course the Bank of Portugal, while having an external auditor, Oliveira Reich. And then we, of course, have our independent valuation that was done by third party, depending on the project in concern and their expertise. So there are a lot of layers of protection when it comes to investment fund. Probably not so much when you have a single asset and you're relying on a property manager to manage it locally. So these are the strong layers of protection that you have. So next slide. Okay. Um, so people say, okay, so the investment fund, venture capital, can my money go to zero? What can happen? Well, let's look at what is the underlying factor. So we have three layers where we make income. One is the contractual income, which basically means that we have rental incomes coming in from different projects. Different projects that are bounded by contracts. We also have a strong track record and experience and expertise with the partners that we are currently working with. And of course, we carry out an insurance for all the investments, all the let's say real estate buildings, that in case of any loss or of income, in case of any loss of property, we are covered through these means. So there is a strong level of income security that we currently have in our portfolio, and which will we have in the investment portfolio of the fund as well. So next slide. All right. Small info on tax. Well, how does 0% sound to you? And the best part is that the investment fund is fully exempt from corporate or capital gains tax. If you decide to be in Portugal and you are an NHR, you have a flat 20% tax on your Portuguese sourced income, but which is not the investment fund income, which is, let's say, you have a job, or if you have any real estate, then you are not real estate but any active income, then you are charged at a 20% flat tax. And pensions are also taxed at a very low rate. There is no inheritance tax in Portugal. These are just when you look from countries like Canada or the US, where or the UK or Australia as well, there is components which are in your favor when you make that investment in Portugal. Okay, so next one. All right. Let's talk about sustainability for a quick second here as well. We are a very sustainable, conscious developer and investment fund manager. There are a few things that we take great pride in. For example, affordable and clean energy. So in our projects, we invest heavily to ensure that we have good source of energy that is local. So, for example, our villa project is currently undergoing a huge installation of solar power panels on top of the villas, because of the fact that we are a market leader in promoting green energy and clean energy as well. And so these are some of the goals that we currently have within our investment framework. Well, at the base of it, we are here in Portugal to develop a sustainable city and continue with what the messaging was in the video earlier, which is developing the fabric of this community and leaving a good impact for the next generations to come. So, next slide. Okay. Currently, we have investors representation from a wide variety of countries. All the way from the leftmost, from the US, onto the rightmost side, on the eastern side, to China. We are truly blessed to have a wide variety of investors investing within our either joint venture portfolio or with the investment fund portfolio. So we are quite blessed to service a different a wide variety of clients, which also means that we have the expertise in assisting with different kinds of documentation as and when required, or if we can't, then when we know who the right person is to contact within the legal framework, so that your particular file is getting the right and appropriate amount of response in a timely manner as well. So, next slide. All right, we talked about where we invest in. I think we can skip this one, so let's go to the next one. Perfect. And the next few slides is actually projects that we are either currently invested in or have a pipeline of investments, in the next few coming months. So this is Quinta do Forte Value. This is a gated community, just 15 minutes from Lisbon Airport. You can buy an individual villa in this and get your golden visa, or you can invest in the investment fund, which will then invest for the future development of this particular project. So this is something that you can totally have a strong asset in your belt. Within this community, we have 36 brand new villas and community center, security 24/7, pharmacy, supermarket, swimming pool, gymnasium, spa, paddle court, tennis court, so many things, event center, cigar room, business conference facility, of course, a track and trail for hiking and jogging, and vineyards on site as well. So many features that you have for looking forward to a strong investment, and especially the location, this being only 15 minutes from the airport, which is in the city center. This makes a very ideal investment for many people that are looking for a strong asset to invest in Portugal. So next few slides we'll just scroll and give some updates. So next slide, please. Yeah, we can keep going on this because we talked about. Okay, perfect. So in on this slide, this is one of the key assets that we are currently looking at investment, which is a strong hotel in the city center in Lisbon, currently under negotiations that we have, and are already operational. Which is how, through the contracts, which is how we guarantee a strong dividend payment throughout the years, and a strong exit payment at the end of the 7 year as well. So these are the kinds of assets that we invest in. And in the next slide, you will also see that the post COVID impact on Portugal in the tourism sector is only been a blessing, similar to what had happened back in SARS in 2003, and now this is the kind of revenge travel, as we call, is what's happening now in Portugal as well. So yeah, this is the perfect time to actually invest in strong hospitality projects in Portugal. So next one. We talked about COVID and whatnot, but we'll keep going. I'd just like to show you one of the projects. So keep going on this. This one is another project that we already have an investment to very close to the University Nova, which is a school which has only 5 years of history, but it has a very large campus and is expanding its campus dynamically as well, and has a great potential for brand new student housing facility. And this is where our expertise is from Canada, and this is where we will continue to invest in the economics of the university living. So that's all for us. Maybe you can put the thank you slide for him, and share the details of our company. So please reach out to us at any time. Talk to us about what you are thinking in terms of investments, or otherwise, if you are just looking to move to Portugal permanently, send us an email or send me a WhatsApp on the phone number listed. Have a chat with us, and let's understand what you're looking for, and if our company can provide you with some solutions, or if not, it will just be a good friendly gesture, and we would love to host you when you are out in Portugal. So with that, I thank you all very much, and we'll talk to you in the future. Bye bye.